welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're old, welcome. My name is Azimi and my channel captures bits and pieces about myself, sometimes when I'm traveling, other times when I'm cooking, and other times about career. So my last two videos have been about the Chevening Scholarship, and today we are going to continue in that light. Today we are going to talk about the leadership and networking questions. If you haven't watched my last two videos, I encourage you to go and watch them because they are going to inform the entire series on Chevening application. I hope you like this video. If you do, please don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. Also, don't forget to hit that notification button so you'll be the first person to know when I upload new videos. So welcome back. I hope you're going to like this video. I hope this video is really just going to change your narratives on how to approach the entire essays. So before we talk about the essay questions, before we look at the tips on how to approach them, let's also just talk about things to avoid. You will want to avoid repetition. You want to avoid repeating examples or stories or scenarios. Also try as much as possible to minimize or to not use abbreviation in your essays. If you want to use an abbreviation, spell it out maybe in the first 2 lines, and then in the rest of the essay you can use the abbreviation. You also want to try as much as possible to be consistent in the way you tell your story. Don't try to tell your entire life story. Pick out those things that are relevant and be consistent in the way you approach them or in the way you tell them. So now that we have those things to avoid, let's look at the essays. With the leadership essay, like I said in my previous video, please don't define what leadership is. Don't give your perception of what a good leader is. Don't give examples or the good qualities, or don't narrate what the good qualities of a leader is. So use the words that you have to tell your own story. Tell your leadership journey. How have you evolved as a leader? How is the Chevening application or the Chevening Scholarship, how is it going to contribute to building you, to making you into a leader that you hope to be, or you want to be, or that you aspire to be? So you want to tell your story in that light. And also don't forget to use the STAR approach when you're trying to tell your story. If you haven't watched the video, it's down. Check in the link below and you're going to see the video where I talk about acing your Chevening application. I specifically talked about the STAR approach. S is for situation, T is for task, A is for action, and R is for result. So use that approach to answer your leadership question. Tell your story the way you want everyone to know you, the way you want the leader to relate to you. Remember that no one else can tell your story better than you, and also that your leadership essay is going to determine whether or not the reader should continue reading your essay. If you don't nail your leadership essay, then there is a high probability that the reader won't continue reading your essay. So try as much as possible to spend some time on your leadership essay. Tell the story, use relevant examples, use examples that are going to wow the reader. It's okay for you to use maybe 3-4 examples that are really concrete, that really has that wow effect, than using maybe 5-6-7 examples that are just shallow. So pick out those leadership stories that you have that are relevant, that are pertinent, that has that wow effect, that can change someone's perception on something. So I hope these tips will help. And with that said, we are going to look at the networking question. Before we've talked about the leadership essay, let's look at the networking essay. One of the common errors that I see across essays that I've read over this couple of years is that most people always just want to talk about how they have traveled, how they have this number of followers on Facebook, how they have attended this conference, and blah blah blah, but without necessarily nailing the question the way it's supposed to be nailed. So from my experience and from reviews from colleagues and friends, this question requires you to talk about how you make your network, how you maintain the network, and how you make use of the network. If the networks were relevant to you or they were useful to you, you talk about how they were useful. What were the results for you making that network? Did they have any impact in your life, in your professional life? Yes or no? If yes, how? So you want to approach this question in that light. Avoid talking how you have attended this conference and this seminar, how you have traveled, how you have these followers on Facebook, and so what. So give the reader that wow effect. Tell the reader the story and how, it's always just nice to read a story from start to finish, how you make the network, how you maintain it, how it was useful to you. Again, remember that Chevening has a huge network. Chevening has been in existence, for more than 35 years, and they have a network of people, leaders across the globe. So you may also want to talk about how you're going to leverage on Chevening network and how you as an individual is going to contribute to the Chevening network. So tell the reader that story. If you approach the essay from this perspective, you're going to tell a very good story, or you're going to have a very good essay.